All right. Hello, boys and girls, ladies and gentlemen. It's your buddy, Mr. G. Today, we are going to be talking about Photoshop and Photopea, and we're going to be using Photopea in our blended learning because we'll be working both in class and remotely. So, we're going to use this online emulation tool to emulate Photoshop when we are out of the classroom. That way, you can use it in your Chromebook or your MacBook or your Windows machine while you are remote at home so you can do your homework and work when you're out of the classroom. Okay. So first we're going to go and we're just going to go to your Google Classroom here, and we're in digital art first period. If you are in second, third, fourth, fifth, sixth period, it's all the same. Just go to your classwork here. It might look a little bit different. Okay, we're going to start off, we're going to go and we're going to get a couple images here that we can work with. Okay, so the first thing we're going to do is go to module 1. And I'm going to go ahead and publish that so you guys have that. Post. So now that I know you guys have that, okay, and we're going to go over here and we got a couple files. We got an astronaut and an African elephant up at the top here. So we're going to start with those, okay? Now I don't want you just to click and open it because I want you to do something specific. I want you to right click. So you have your left click button and use your right click button for the other button. Okay, so if you're on a Chromebook, you use 2 fingers, or you can do alt click. If you have any trouble with that, there is down here in your technical tips how to right click on a touchpad with any device. Okay, so we're going to go over here and we're going to right click on that so we have a menu pop up like that. Okay, and what we want to do, we're going to open this in a new tab. Okay, the reason we want to do this is we're going to download this image. So we're going to go and we're going to go here, and you'll notice once it opens up in your Chrome browser that you'll have some options up here, and right here this little arrow pointing down is the download option. We'll go ahead and download that to your computer. Okay, now that's going to go to your downloads folder. Okay, it's called Astronaut. Okay, so we'll be able to find that later. Go ahead and we close him up. And then we're going to go back over here to classwork, and we're going to go to African elephant here. We're going to click that. Again, when I just click it, I don't have those menu items. Okay, so I am going to close him, go back. And again, I want to right click, open in a new tab, and then you have that download option. Okay, again, this file is called African bush elephant. So we can click him and that'll download as well. All right. So now we got a couple images download that we can work with. So let's go and we're going to open up Photopea at this point. Okay. So I'm going to go down here to technical tips and information, and I'm going to click the link to Photopea. Okay. And that's going to take me to the Photopea website. Okay, now it's very important to understand Photopea is a program that operates in your Chrome browser. Okay, when we're on Photoshop in the lab, it actually operates on the machine, but this is only operating in the web browser. Now, why is that important, Mr. G? Well, because the web browser is operating from the cloud, right? It's not actually on your machine. So in order to get any files like that African elephant or that astronaut to Photopea, we've got to upload it from our machines, from our computers, from our download folder up to the Chrome browser to Photopea. Okay, so let's start with that. Okay, so let's look at what we got here first. So here's Photopea. So my main area here, this is your main work area here, okay? So over here, we've got our toolbar, which is right over here. This is all the tools, and you hear me say this repeatedly. The toolbar, think of it as what's in your hand, okay? So that'll be what's in your hand. So that is the toolbar right over here. Now, up here on the top, and you'll see as I select different things, you'll see that up here, this bar changes. This is the options bar, okay? The toolbar is whatever's in our hand, and the options bar is the options for whatever tool is in our hand. Okay, up here on top, you'll see the main menu bar. It has, file, edit, image, layer, select, filter, view, window, and more. We'll get into that later. Okay. And then over here, we have our panels, which we'll talk about later as well. But that is our main layout for our Photopea program. Okay. Now also you will notice that when you are over on the toolbar, if you hover for a second, it'll tell you what that tool is. So that first tool up there is called the Move tool, and it has a little parentheses and the letter V in there. That V annotates that it has a shortcut to that. Okay. So if I just hit V on my toolbar or on my keyboard, it automatically selects that Move tool. Okay. So let's go down here to the eyedropper tool, and it pops up. It says it's the eyedropper tool. It has a quick key of I. So I just push I and I have the eyedropper tool now. Okay. Very cool. Super duper. All right. So let's go ahead and open those two images that we had. Okay. So first, before we do anything, we're going to sign in. So we're going to go to account, and we just click account. So I don't have an account, Mr. G. How do I sign up, and what do I do? Okay. So you are going to, let me log out here just so that goes in here. So once you put account, it'll say log in. Okay. And it'll give you an option right here. Just log in with your Google account, and you're going to log in with your school Google account. I am John Grosvenor at West Carrollton School District.K through 12.oh.us, and you are a similar at westcarrollton.oh.us user. So just log on with your school email. There's no password. You don't have to do anything else like that. Okay. So just log on. Okay. All right. Now we're going to we can do a new project, open from computer, all these right here, but we're going to go up here and use the actual file button, and we're going to go open. Okay. First thing we're going to do, we want to open that astronaut file. So we are going to go down and we're going to go in my downloads folder here. I'm just in my window. Let me get this a little bigger. If you're on a Chromebook or a Windows machine, it'll look a little bit different, but you want to navigate to your downloads folder, and I want to find images, and I want to find that astronaut image first. Okay, so I'm going to grab my astronaut, and then once I have it, I'm going to go ahead and I am going to push open. And these are over here are advertisements. Obviously, this is an ad-based program, so you will see some ads over here. Okay, so now we've opened an image. Okay, so we've got it up onto the cloud. It's up on Google Chrome. It's up in Photopea. So we've got an image that we can work with. Okay, so it probably came up a little smaller. Okay, but we can make it bigger. So the first thing we're going to talk about, since we've opened a file, is our zoom tool. Okay, so I'm going to go all the way down to the bottom here in our toolbar, and you will see our zoom tool is right down here, and I'll hover over top of it. It says it's the zoom tool, and it has a shortcut of Z. So if I hit Z, it'll go ahead and grab my zoom tool. Okay, that's what's in our hand now. You'll see our options up here. I have a plus or a minus, pixel to pixel, fit the area. So if I just click fit the area, it automatically goes up. If it is down, there's a shortcut for that, which is Command 0 also for that. But in my option here, I can go and I can zoom and I can click, and the more I click, the closer it gets, and you'll see that we can go all the way down to the individual pixel on a lot of images, and sometimes we'll have to do that. A lot of your editing is going to go very fine work. But you can really see that this image is made up of tiny pixels. Okay, if we hit the minus button, we can click here and it zooms out of that image. Okay, and we can go very tiny, and then we can bring it back up to fit the area or pixel to pixel for the resolution. Okay, so there's the options. So you can also hold down your shift key or your alt key, excuse me, alt on a Mac or alt on a Windows or a Chromebook, or option on your MacBook. And you'll notice when I hold option or alt, you'll see that your options up here in the options bar switch back and forth. So I can hold this and I can quickly zoom in and zoom out. Okay. All right, so now that we've moved in and zoomed in, the next tool we're going to talk about is our hand tool. Okay, the hand tool is right above the magnifying glass. It's right over here. It's called the hand tool. It has an H. So I can grab and I click and I drag and I can move my image around. Okay. Also, the space bar works as a hand tool. Okay, so I use that quite a bit. So I kind of keep one hand on the keyboard and one hand either on my mouse or my touchpad of my laptop, and I move around. Okay, and that's really how I navigate around in my program. Okay, and you just click and drag. Okay, super duper. So I'm going to hit Command 0 and zoom that back out, and we're going to go ahead and we're going to open the other picture of the elephant, okay? But we're going to do it a little bit different. I wanted to place that picture into this picture so that I have both images in one picture, okay? So how do I do that? So the first time when we opened our astronaut, we just said open, okay? This time we're going to use open and place. And what that's going to do, it's going to open an image, it's going to place it into this file that we're using, okay? So we'll push open and place. Again, that's going to go to my downloads folder. Again, I'm going to navigate down. I'm going to look for that African elephant. It's called African bush elephant JPEG. And we're going to go ahead and open that. So it opens and places it in there. Super duper. All right, so now I've got an image of an elephant and an astronaut, okay? And you'll notice over here, I have a layers panel, okay? Layers is very important. We'll do a video just talking about that layer, but you'll notice that I have the background that has my astronaut in it, and then I've got my African elephant, which is right there on top of it, okay? So the last tool that we're going to talk about here is the Move tool, which is all the way at the top here. Again, it has a shortcut of the letter V, so if I just grab V on my keyboard, it's going to automatically grab it. And the Move tool is different from the Hand tool in that it actually moves individual things around, okay? So you'll notice that if I grab the Hand tool, once I zoom in here, if I grab the Hand tool, it moves everything around. But if I grab the Move tool, it's going to move pieces around. Okay, so that is the difference. The Move tool will move individual things around, and the Hand tool is going to move everything around, your entire image. Okay, all right, so I'm going to zoom back out. I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to place my elephant to the left, and I'm going to place my astronaut to the right with my Move tool. I'm going to hit Command 0. Okay, and this is the final image that I want you to end up with. So you are going to download those two images. You're going to upload them both into Photopea after you log in, and you're going to open the astronaut, and then you're going to open and place the elephant, and you're going to move them in so that you have this image, okay? Then you will take a screenshot to turn into Google Chrome, okay? But first we got to save this here. So how do we save? So let's go ahead and save. So we're going to go ahead and save file, and when we save, it's going to save to our computers. It's going to save to our machines, okay? But that doesn't save it to Google Classroom, which is where we need to save and where we need to move, okay? So we're going to hit save, okay? Photopea works in the same way that Photoshop does, as it saves everything as a Photoshop document by default, okay? So if we say save as PSD, okay, that gives us a PSD file, and I can go in here and I can say show in the folder, okay, that in my folder, in downloads, it saved this file called astronaut file on Earth as a PSD. Okay. Now from there, I need to get it up to my Google Classroom or to my Google Drive. Okay. So how do I do that? Okay. So let's go ahead and I will go back to my browser, which never works when I'm castifying here. So here we have, so I'm back on my browser, okay, and I'm actually going to go, and I'm just going to make a new here, and I'm going to go and navigate to my Google Drive, okay. In my Google Drive, I am going to do a new file upload. My new file upload, I'm going to go to my downloads folder, and I am going to look for that African bush elephant PSD. Mr. G has a million pictures. All right, and there it is right there. Astronaut files PSD. Then I will say open, okay? And I'll move Mr. G out the way here, and you'll see that it is uploading right there, okay? So that has uploaded to my Google Drive now, okay? So that's where we're going to stop at for today. Go ahead and save that file, and you're going to again take a screenshot, and then you're going to upload that to the Google Classroom for this assignment. All right. Stay creative, and I will see you all soon.